Welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at how we can load a PDF inside a custom view for SwiftUI so we can make it so we can display information that we want to have inside our app using some external data, for example, of some PDF information we want to actually load. Like say, for example, we have an internal file that talks about our information, or in the case of my class projects, we want to put one of our mini assignments in there so we can talk about, oh, here's the work I did to research for the project, and then I can load it inside my app itself. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're doing to make this happen. The first thing we do is we have to make a new SwiftUI view called CustomPDFView. The first thing we have to do is add an import for PDFKit. PDFKit provides internal Swift support for PDF files, but it doesn't have a default view to make them load, so we have to make our own custom type that can have that happen. So that's what we're going to work on first. What we have right here is a struct called PDFKitRepresentedView, and it implements the UIViewRepresentable protocol, and that's how you make component pieces that you would put inside your body. And so we're making a view that we can use inside this. This is like its own custom view we can load as a component inside any other Swift view. And so for that PDFKitRepresentedView, the first thing we're going to do is make a let called document URL that is of type URL, because that's how we load our PDFs, is by supplying them a URL object that we can use as a parameter and put that into the thing. Because we have a data member, we also, of course, have to have a custom init for that. And so init document URL is of type URL. And just like normal, self.document URL equals document URL. So it's a really basic initialization right there. Now, UIViewRepresentable requires two methods to be completed. If you're working on this with my class, I have you write in the methods first and then add the UIViewRepresentable protocol conformance later. But we have it right here as a few videos so you can see the entire structure with this. Now, again, with a protocol, you must have the methods spelled exactly correct, and you have to make sure you have the right methods all the way through. So we have two methods we have to have. We have makeUIView and updateUIView. As you can see, the makeUIView method has a single parameter of type context, named context, and it returns some UIView. Well, that something looks familiar. We see that up there in our body variable, which we'll come back to again later. Now, inside the makeUIView method, the first thing we have to do is do a let PDFView is of type PDFView, and we initialize it with the PDFView initializer, so just PDFView. It has a default PDFView that's just there. Now, I'm using a let because I'm never going to reassign into it, but I'm going to use the dot modifiers so I can call and I'm going to use the dot operator modify attributes in that actual thing, because you can modify a let when you use the dot operator on the data that's inside the actual structure. So PDFView.document, that property we're going to assign a new PDF document, supplying it the URL of the self.document URL. So I'm going to grab this URL that we initialized right here in our init, and we're going to pass it to the PDF document so we can actually load the document itself specifically. I'm going to set auto scale to be true, and my display direction in this case is dot horizontal. You can also use dot vertical if you like. You can set that up to make it so it works within your app. Either one is great. And it's just how you actually want to be the scrolling feature inside your application. I set my min scale factor and my max scale factor in this case to be 0.5 and 5.0. These are, of course, totally customizable. Work with these so you make your app work well for you. You can also make it so you can't even scale it. That's great too. But that's just how you can oh, here's how the scale range I can have to support for that. Finally, the last line of that is going to return PDFView, because again, this is a return type method. It's some UIView. What kind am I doing? It's a PDF view. So that PDFView conforms to the UIView protocol, so it automatically works for that. The next required method is the updateUIView method that has two parameters, a UIView type and a context. Now, this one, however, because it doesn't actually do anything for our code version, we just simply do a stub of that method. We don't put any code in there. I just put the comment, do not put any code in here, because we're not doing anything with this. If you're doing more manipulation of the actual PDF document, when you update the UI, then you would actually have to handle that inside this method. But this is a really basic thing, so we don't have to even worry about that. It's just an empty stub of a method. We have to have this method to conform to the protocol, but just have the method, leave it empty. That's it, we're good to go. It's great and wonderful. So that's the struct we have to use to make that work in the first place. Let's go take a look at the actual custom PDF view where we use that struct to actually make that happen. So the struct we're using to actually load this PDF view, we have two data members. We have a title, it's a string, and our displayed PDF URL, that's right, a URL. I know, it's crazy. Inside the body, we'll use a VStack with a title and a PDFRepresentedView. Again, with both of these things, we're always using the accessibility modifiers because we want to make sure that our app is useful for people who may have different accessibility levels than ourselves, as well as the fact that this makes it so our app is now testable using Xcode testing tools for the UI testing. So we always have the accessibility label that describes the contents of the thing, and then the accessibility value, which actually are the contents that we're actually working with that. And so as you can see right here, my text has title, and my accessibility value has title. Because the PDFKitRepresentedView, we can't actually get the actual information of that, so I simply have a PDF from that URL and a PDF of that URL as the associated accessibility label and values, because I do want to have accessibility label and values for every single piece we're working with inside this project. It's just a good practice to always be in. Now, to make that load inside the previews, we have our preview struct right here. And as you can see, I simply just call a custom PDF view, passing it a PDF title, and the display PDF URL is random info URL because I have my random info assignment. So I printed off the actual details for the assignment and put that inside the page. You can use any URL that you have for that. And again, to do that, if you take a look over here in my utilities.swift, we can see we have some URLs right here. So my random info URL, I use the bundle.main.url for resource. I pass it a string that matches the name of the file itself with extension PDF, and make sure, of course, you unwrap that value because it's an optional. So we do a force unwrap. It's inside my project. It's guaranteed to be there, so it's good to go. But you have to make sure you have that ready for it before we can actually do it. And so again, to make a custom PDF view, we have the custom PDF view, the main part of the code where we actually use the custom piece we just made. And then we have our PDFKitRepresentedView, which actually uses the PDFKit components to create a custom component we can use inside our view and make it so we do some really cool stuff. And all we have to do for that is make two methods, makeUIView and updateUIView, and the only work happens inside that makeUIView method. I hope this is helpful and allows you so you can incorporate using PDFs inside your project and do cool things. Cheers and have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.